So here it is. This is my 1970 Fiat 500. Lovely sunny day today. Lovely blue turquoisey colour. Has the CMR alloys, checkered sunroof, and a sports exhaust. Paintwork's not in the best condition like in the world, like, don't get me wrong, like, it has got some bubbling in it. But not too bad for 54 years old. Bumper needs a bit of repair. Ignore that. So yeah, let's run you through the main features. So first of all, you've got some quarter light windows, which open like this. Very useful actually. On a really hot day, you can turn them inwards, and then the air coming in from the front will direct straight your face. It's actually quite nice. Gotta love these proper clunky doors. So this one is the Lusso, so Fiat 500L. L meaning Lusso, which means luxury, which means it came with leather seats, carpet, which is sun faded from its time in Florence, and you get this tiny bit of roof carpet, I guess you can call it. So there we go, got proper. So we come around to the back. So there, as you can see, there you go, L for Lusso. In here, that is the 2-cylinder parallel twin 499cc engine. Needs a lot of cleaning up. The exhaust recently was damaged, so that required some welds, so I'm currently covering that up. But that's going to get rewrapped soon. It's got new exhaust brackets on it. So since I've owned it, so I put the exhaust on it, I've done the ignition leads, and it's been regularly serviced. I've also built this heat shield for the coil to protect it from the sports exhaust. The exhaust is from a Fiat 126, which is the same engine, but it's a 650cc. So that's what it looks like at the bottom. So it's quite low to the floor, to be honest. Not sure what the engine plans are for this yet, but time will tell. Got a bit of cracking on the rear bench, again from its time in Florence. So also, since I've owned the car, I put on these alloys. Vintage CMR in absolutely stunning condition. Got a full set of those, and then up top got the checkered sunroof. So common says, I'll debunk a rumor here, because a lot of people say this. They're like, oh, I've got a Fiat 500 which is a sunroof model. They only came with the sunroof. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There's no such thing as a hardtop Fiat 500. If there is, it's because someone's made one. As you can see with the seams on these, they're really thin, and that goes for all the metal in the entire car. And the reason being is because after World War II, there was metal shortages in Italy, and that's why this car was built with as least amount of metal as possible, and obviously it's really small. Hence the sunroof. That's a lot less metal to put in if you cut a big hole in it. So yeah, that's the reason for that. Bit of history for you. So here's the seats. They do just literally fold forward, so you can carry a passenger in the rear. Nice little steering wheel. This steering wheel, as far as I'm aware, only came on the Lusso models. So I think it's the F and the L came with the steering wheel, and this cluster, which has a fuel gauge, which you don't get on the previous models. So also on this this particular 500 in Italy, someone has removed the key barrel from here, put in a blanking plate, and installed a Fiat 126 ignition barrel, which now gives the steering wheel steering lock. So that is that. In terms of storage space, we've got the front, so you pull that lever. We'll go around the front. bonnet self latches. It's a bit full at the moment, I'll be honest. It's nothing but tools, spare wheel, and there's your petrol tank. You also have a jack, and there is a warning triangle there, but that's not standard. Here's all the wiring for the car. Very old. Smells a bit petrol-y in there, actually. This makes the most horrendous noise, as you'll find out. So there we go. So yeah, that's just a quick overview. The other cool feature that came with my car is it still has a sticker on it from 1996 from Florence. And I obviously put that in there from my recent trip to Sicily. So yeah, that's that. Let me show you the starting procedure. So starting the car is pretty simple. You just take this key, stick it in the ignition barrel, turn it until the lights come on. Then down here, if the car is cold, which it's not currently, but this one's the choke, and this one is the starter lever, which it didn't start that time. And there you go. So it has a dynamo, so that is that. Basically saying that the car is not revving high enough to charge it, but yeah. Few bonus features worth mentioning, because I didn't talk about them previously. Yes, your only source of entertainment is an ashtray. No radio, no speakers or of any kind. No real room in the back. Of course, you got a bit of visors. But here, this switch here, there you can't really see it in the daytime because it's so dim, but there is a bulb on the bottom of the mirror, which is your interior light. And this is the door handle to get out, which is right down the bottom, which is interesting. These switches, again, I didn't really explain. They're pretty straightforward. One of them turns on the lights for this cluster. That's literally it. So this lights up. Second one is just your front lights, and the third one's the wipers. Down here, this button here, if you pump it, that is your washers. Left side, indicators, left and right, pretty standard. And then this controls your brightness of your lights. So you cannot control the speed of the wipers. That's based off the dynamo, so the faster you go and the faster the wipers go. Down here is your heating. So you open these little vents and turn the heating on and off. It's done with a little lever down here, which, sorry, the lock's currently in the way, but that's there. And right down here is a throttle locking cable, which I would never use, but you can lock the throttle at a certain position, and it's basically cruise control. Here's the pedal position. Accelerator comes right out the center well. It's pretty funky. And these pedals, annoyingly, you have to hover your foot continuously. You cannot rest them on the floor. It doesn't work like that. So that's it for interior features. Got one more thing to show you in the engine bay. Only thing I didn't mention in the engine bay before is a lot of you, if you don't know your Fiat 500s, you'll notice here the engine mount is held with a spring. It has a very small spring in there, and that's why the engine's so jumpy. So yeah, that is basically it for my 1970 Fiat 500. If you want to see the build, go check out my Instagram. I'll leave that in the description. That Instagram is literally for the car build, and that's it. So yeah, see you in the next one.